Good morning, everybody, and good evening to all the people joining from Asia. I'm glad to start our second and last session of our workshop on the digital transformation of the built environment. Again, my name is Costas Spanos. I'm professor of ECS at UC Berkeley, director of CITRIS and the Banato Institute. Also running a program in Singapore, where some of the presentations came from last, 2 days ago. And of course, I'm a co-chief scientist of the C3 Digital Transformation Institute. And as you know, this institute has started about a year and a half ago. We are trying to create a community about the world's leading scientists in order to look at this phenomenon known as digital transformation, which applies, of course, to businesses, government, and society. So it is in this context that we present this workshop. There are many participants in this institute. There are several very prestigious universities, of course, our own UC Berkeley, in close collaboration with University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. We are co-hosting the institute, but many other participating schools, as you see there. We're supported by participants from the Berkeley Laboratory, a National Center for Supercomputing Applications, and several corporations are supporting the institute. Leading, of course, is C3.ai, which is the major funder for this effort. So this workshop, and today is the second and the last installment of this work, is about the digital transformation of the built environment. And of course, by built environment, we mean all the time, the places where we spend 90% of our lives, places of work, commercial buildings, places of residence, our homes and apartments, and of course, many other places of entertainment, places of retail, and so on and so forth. So it is a very rich environment, so to speak, and it is being transformed in a quiet, but in a very certain way. So I already introduced myself. I will not spend much more time on that. As you can see, we have an exciting list of speakers. Some of them have already presented on Tuesday morning, California time, or very late in the evening, Asia time on Tuesday. And several more exciting students today. Today, in addition to the 4 presentations that you will hear in the morning, we will have a panel conversation as well, closing out the workshop. These are the presentations that took place on day 1. We have already compiled videos for these presentations, and we're going to be putting in the chat a link so that you can watch all the videos. These are separate videos for all the events that you see here. A very subtle theme runs through the first day. On the first day, we focused on the built environment itself. And as you can see, there was a progression. We started by Professor Stefanos Chavon talking about the practical problem of the built environment and catering to our well-being, safety, security, privacy, many other things. So it is a very complex problem. The built environment is extremely diverse, as we heard. And then we progressed from there. We heard about digital twins, which is the advanced real-time modeling of modern buildings. We heard about the role of machine learning and crowdsourced models for the built environment. And as we came closer and closer to applying these 21st century tools to the built environment, we heard about making cost-effective use of data for AI applications, specifically for the built environment. Of course, data can be plentiful, but because buildings are so diverse and so different, data has to be used in a very efficient way. So today, on day 2, we are looking at the supply chain, so to speak. What is a supply chain? Well, this morning we're going to hear from Professor Sansa Myers, going to tell us about the smart grid and some exciting applications. I will tell you about that in a moment. Then we'll hear about assured learning. When we talk about the built environment and its supply chain, there are many things at risk. The more our environment, the places where we spend 90% of our lives, is transformed, the more we may become vulnerable for attacks to our privacy, attacks to our security. And so hear about that later in the morning. And then we'll look at some examples. An example of using AI at a university campus scale, which is, of course, a bigger scale than an individual building. And we're going to hear about the market dynamics of this new space. And of course, we're going to close out with a panel discussion, which I will be happy to introduce later this morning.